Welcome back to Roy Family Farms. I'm Chris, and don't mind our mess. It's been crazy, like you've seen already in previous videos. But today we're starting to build a chicken tractor. It'll probably be a two-part video. One, I don't have enough time to finish it today, and two, I don't have all the materials. But basically, it's going to be a 7x5 chicken tractor. I already got started. I had some 2x4x12s that I cut down. Obviously 7 foot length, 5 foot length. Ideally, you'd really want probably 8 foot, so you have part of the back sticking out and kind of have an angle at the front for skids. But I'm just being cheap. It'll be fine. We'll put wheels on it. We'll still be able to move it. But I got most of the lumber pre-cut except for the door frame. One of them. What we're doing is we're going to be notching them for strength, so we use less wood. So we'll notch them, and then they'll get married together, the horizontals and verticals. I've notched one already, so we'll get into doing that here in just a minute. But basically, like I said, it'll be 7x5. It'll have metal arches, and we'll run drawing a blank, hardware cloth around the bottom so nothing can reach in and grab them, and then we'll have welded wire over the top and the back. You can do chicken wire, and we have one that has chicken wire. Chicken wire is just a lot harder to work with than welded wire, so I prefer welded wire. We will get started on another board here. It's already been pre-marked. What I did is just take another 2x4 and trace it. I go a little bit to the outside of it to make sure there's plenty of room there. But yeah, you just pre-mark it. You have your end pieces in one that's dead center on each side. And then what we'll do, after we get these horizontals notched out, we'll notch out the verticals. And we'll we may only get one side done today. I don't know what time it is, but I've got a lot of other stuff. So this may actually end up being maybe a 3-part video, but let's get started here. If I can see, my glasses have sawdust all on them. And it's rainy and humid, so they fog up pretty quick. But we'll start off, since this is an end, just follow your line here, and then you'll just do small little cuts all the way through. And by all means, they do not need to be perfect. One thing I didn't talk about is you need to adjust your depth on your saw. 2x4 is actually about 1.5 inches thick. I found, at least with my saw, I got to set it at about 1/2 inch, and that ends up being the 1.5 inches. And one thing, my saw dipped a little bit here. It looks like it went a little bit deeper because I was going a little too quick. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't need to be 100% precise. Yeah, just take your hammer, you start busting. It actually doesn't look bad. There's one little, looks like one cut where it dipped forward a little bit and it went a little deeper. So yeah, just take the claw part of your hammer and you just rake it across. You bust out the big chunks first, and then I just kind of rake it across to smooth it out. I mean, you could try to be a little more precise with like a chisel or something. It doesn't need to be. You just want it to be somewhat smooth. It's a chicken tractor. I mean, this ain't rocket science. I mean, you want it to look good, you want it to be structurally good, but it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. Oh yeah, here you go. You got one notch. It's about halfway through. It looks like I gotta bust out on the edge a little bit. There's a little hump. But yeah, if you can see that, it's about halfway. Pretty clean notch. We got 2 more to go on this. So we'll get that going. And then, since we already have the one horizontal done, I'm just going to build this sorry, I'm out of camera view. I'm going to build this just one side at a time for now. Just because, like I said, it'll probably be a 2 or 3 part video. I'm just trying to fit it in when I have time. So let's get this one finished. We'll notch out the verticals and then we'll slap that together. Now this one, you have 2 edge cuts. I always do that first. I always do the edge cuts first. That way you know you have your area that you're going to work with. Go ahead, flip it around. We'll notch the other end, and then we'll bust them out here. If I can see. It's rainy and humid here, so everything's fogging up pretty good. Try to get this hammer out of the solid just a bit. Take these off so I can see. Which you should still wear safety glasses because you're busting this out. You can still get stuff in your eye, but it is just so humid that I can't see. By the time I get done cutting one of these notches, they're all fogged up again. I'm just not going to be battling all that right now. yeah, with these center ones, I just kind of start from the middle to bust it out. Let's hop around to the other side, it'll be easier. There we go. We got both the horizontals done for this side. So now we're going to start knocking out the verticals. It's the same deal. You're just going to do it on the ends. I actually haven't traced those out, but same deal. Just pop it up under your board and kind of mark a rough thing, and then I would get a square to make sure it's actually straight, because your cut might not be perfect. So, I don't even know where a pencil is, but, right here. But yeah, we'll just get a rough little mark. We'll make sure it's semi-even. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't need to be exact. It's not rocket science. There's nothing too complicated here. But if you get a speed square or some sort of other straight edge, if you don't have a speed square, I'd advise getting one. It makes life a lot easier. But yeah, just mark it off on the end there, and then you'll have... I got them laid in place in the notches here, which they fit together pretty good. As you can probably tell, there's a little bit of space, but I'd rather it be slightly bigger, which there's really not much side-to-side wall. I'd rather it be slightly bigger, and then versus having to go back and cut an extra little sliver out, because that just takes more time. So I always make sure I cut like on my lines, and if not slightly to the outside of my line. That way they'll fit together good. Having a little bit of a gap isn't a big deal. But what I'm going to do, you want to make sure they're pretty even on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I have them laid in place, and I'm going to make sure that they end up being 2 foot. So we'll try to get it as square as we can. That's pretty dang close. We will probably, honestly, because your cuts are, especially with a circular saw, they're usually never exact. They're slightly off. But I mean, it's a chicken tractor. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. So, like I said before, it ain't really rocket science. It's just a chicken tractor. But I've got 1 5/8" screws here, which we're going to have to be careful, because to not punch through, we're going to probably have to make sure the head doesn't really sink in too much, or we'll punch through the other side, which ain't the biggest deal, but I'm going to try not to, because it won't look as good. See where we're at. We did not punch through, so we're good there. But we're going to get the ends done, then we'll come to the center. The ends are what you want to be pretty exact. Well, yeah, what we'll do, I got one there. Let's remeasure. We're at 2 foot. So we'll go ahead and we'll put one over on this end now. We did not punch through, and we're going to put 4 4 screws on each of these joints here. We're just being careful not to go through to the other side. So these heads are going to be sticking out just a little bit. Not a big deal. And we got a split there a little bit, so we're going to throw one in the center just to be safe. To avoid that, you can pre-drill. Alright, for the most part, this should be good because it's treated, so it's kind of soft. A little bit of splitting, I mean, it ain't a big deal. If I was building this for somebody, I would be a little more careful about that, but this is for us. I've got a short amount of time, so we are just going to roll with it. That end's done. We'll come down here. We'll remeasure it. Shouldn't have moved at all. I mean, we're not doing anything that crazy. Let's see. We'll pop that in a little bit. 2 foot. We're good to go. And I'll pop my knee on this board here. We'll do the same thing. We'll throw one in each side, kind of opposing. This one's on the outside, so we'll go to the inside here. And then it should be good. Didn't move at all. So we'll throw. Thought there was a split in the wood there. It split a little bit, so I think I was correct. It's hard to tell. And where we have the screws, we are actually going to have that to the inside. So these notches and stuff won't be as exposed and visible on the outside, just for looks wise. I mean, I know I've said it a bunch, it's just a chicken tractor, but I still like it to look good. And that screw is not really symmetrical. It's kind of out of line with the others, but oh well. So let's go down here to the center and make sure this is even. Looks pretty even, so we'll put our knee on the center to keep it from moving. Since this is in the center, I'm not really worried about going to that other side either. It's in his little groove. It ain't going anywhere. One more. And just like the others, we're throwing 4 in here. And I think it popped through a little bit with that one. Oh well. Yep, there we go. Actually, we've got, heck, on that one, we've got a few through. What we'll do, so nothing gets caught on there, we'll just pound those out with a hammer, and won't be a big deal. When you're notching, it's kind of hard to not pop through. I guess I could have got 1.5-inch screws, but it's not that big of a deal. And you could see the notches. It makes it really strong. I was gonna use those plates. You could probably see them on the ground there, to stiffen it up a little bit, but you really don't need to. I have a tendency to overbuild a lot of stuff, and that's what I was planning on doing. But this is one side of it. Those 5-foot sections that we have over there are going to be for the back and the front. But that's going to about wrap it up for the day. Whenever we're done, we will snip these off, or, I mean, honestly, probably with a hammer. It looks like all of them, except for on this end, it looks like it looks like the majority of them just popped through a little bit, but turned out pretty nicely. It's pretty rigid, so it'll definitely hold up. And this, notching them like this, it saves you some lumber, and it gives you a smooth surface to put the hardware cloth on. It takes a little more time, but like I said, it's less lumber, so it's a little bit cheaper, and it makes for a really clean look. The other one we built that's this style, I didn't notch it. I was in a hurry, and I had a bunch of extra like scrap lumber, so I ended up just filling in the voids so there's a smooth surface with lumber, but that has extra lumber, and it adds weight. This way, it'll be relatively lightweight, and it's solid. I mean, it ain't going anywhere. But this is part 1 of the chicken tractor build. Today is, what day is it? Today is Tuesday. The video will probably come out Wednesday. I think, what's today? Tuesday, July 19th, I believe. So the video will probably come out Wednesday, the 20th. Part 1 will, and then I would guess the 23rd, 24th, we'll have a part 2 video. The part 2 video, I'm not going to show any more of making the side. You guys seen that already. I'm going to get that other side built prior to the video probably, and then we'll go from there. I'll probably pick up the other materials. I would like this just to be a 2-part video, but it may end up being 3 parts. But if you like what you've seen here, please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.